Oh, yay, somebody's here. Hi, Dawn. I was getting worried. There's crickets in here. Just me and the crickets. So since Dawn's here, I'm going to start. This is the ATC challenge for August, which is, of course, you know, an artist trading card, which is 3.5 by 2.5 inches. This one's cut out of 140-pound cold press watercolor paper, so it has a smooth side and a rough side, and I'm going to be using the smooth side. This is the challenge, 3 steps. Use a date stamp, draw big, add some lace, and then if I want, I can do make a list instead of one of these steps. So I decided not to do that, and we'll go ahead and get started. This is a date stamp, and I just dialed all the numbers to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instead of a date because I didn't feel the need for the date, and we're going to use it as a background instead of using it as a date. So I decided to do that with a gel press plate, and this is the 3 by 5 inch one, and then I have the 4-inch round to use as kind of an ink pad. And I'm going to be using these Decoart fluid paints. So I'm just going to put like a little teeny tiny dot. When you're trying to stamp with acrylic paint, the gelatin plates work really great, but I don't need very much, just a teeny tiny bit, because I'm going to be using this teeny tiny stamp. So I have primary yellow, cadmium orange hue, primary magenta, blue green light, which is kind of a teal, and then this primary cyan, which is a lighter blue. And then I'm just going to take a little brush and kind of, the paints are worth the money. Yes, these are very similar to the golden fluid acrylics, and I don't know that there's any difference at all between them. They're very pigmented. It's not a craft paint, it's definitely an art paint. So I just kind of smeared out the paint, and I'm just going to use it to stamp on this second gel plate with my little teeny stamp. Then clean off that color, move to the next one. And what I'm trying to do is create crusty bits, which is what I love on gel plates. And I'm just making them myself, and they're going to be numbers. But yeah, once you start using these paints, you'll never go back. Never. So I'm just trying to kind of fill in the background with my colors. Just completely making marks using my date stamp. I guess I better clean this brush off a little bit. So this is my new camera setup in my new studio. Do you like it? I like it. I haven't moved all my stuff yet. There's still a lot of stuff in the other room, but I like being able to see out the window. I'm just giving this a really light touch as I'm stamping. There's not any pressing because both the palette of colors on this gelatin plate and this one are both very squishy, and so there's no need to press hard. It's kind of that same idea when they came out with the rubber pads that you could put under your paper when you were stamping to give more like a more even, I don't know what they called it because I never was into it, but I know it exists. So then, now that I have that plate all completely covered with the different colors, I'm going to let that dry a little bit so we can talk amongst ourselves, Dawn and I. I don't think anyone else showed up yet. Yes, I still feel guilty taking my son's room. But it's mine now. He'll just have to sleep on a mattress on the floor or something if he comes back. So I'm not going to waste this stuff, you know. I'm going to go ahead and print this one while we're waiting for a little bit of drawing time. I want crusty bits, so I want them to be dry, so that's the reason I'm waiting. And I'm just using my 2-inch brayer to smush this around a little bit and get some color on that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of Titan Buff colored paint over this. And I'm going to use that same Titan Buff over this plate. And I want a really, really thin layer. I don't want a whole bunch of gloppy paint because when I print this, I want it to pull up that crusty bits that I've stamped on there. So I'm trying to get those paints to marry together with each other, but I just want it to be very, very thin. So there's my ATC. And then just let me get a little bit of scratch paper to put over both of these. And then I'm going to press really hard. I really, really want to get these pressed. And I know that probably makes my camera wiggle a little bit. It's hanging over the desk, so if it wiggles, I'm sorry. There's not an earthquake. It's just me trying to get these things really pressed down as hard as I can. I want to try to lift up every bit of paint that's on there. So let's see how the round one, yep, there we go, the round one's working. So that's all the leftover paint on that one. And then I'll pull up this one. And there you have my background. It's just all covered with numbers, but not so that you could read it really. It's just a pattern of some sort. So we'll give that a little bit of a dry. Hi Peggy, hi Edward. Glad you guys joined. I'm just finishing up my background. So if anybody has any questions that's just joined us, you can just ask. I don't know how much you saw, so that's my background for my ATC using the date stamp and some Decoart paint. And gel plate. So that takes care of step 1. Step 2 is to draw big. Again. I'm sure you guys are all very excited that that one came up again. So I'm going to make a drawing using this HB drawing pencil. I know you guys know that I'm a fan of this mechanical pencil, but I've somehow got the lead jammed in it, so I didn't have time to fix it this morning. So I'm going to use this drawing pencil instead. And I'm going to have to concentrate, so I don't know. I'll let you guys talk amongst yourselves for the moment because this is kind of a weird drawing. I already did it once, but you know, I have to try to do it again. I practiced this morning before, you know, just to make sure that everything would work, that my live would work. Because, you know, last month we had a big problem with live and Peg had to take over because my Facebook wasn't working. Everything was a mess. So hopefully I can do this drawing without very much erasing, but there's no guarantee of that. I do have a white eraser here in case I need to erase things. Okay, let's see, we need another eyeball over here. And the reason that I picked this image, by the way, since we're drawing big again, is that it's a giraffe. And I thought that a giraffe was something that was big, so in case you were wondering what it is that I'm drawing, and I actually needed to have him higher up on, yeah, I should have maybe made it something simple like a heart. So let's make his little face go out here a little bit more so that you can get an idea. Drawing under pressure is hard. It's going to end up looking like a dragon or something if I'm not careful. All right, let's put his little mouth in there, his little chewy mouth. And his long, skinny neck. And you get the idea anyway. I think his nostrils need to move up a little bit. Gonna need him up here a little bit more, I think. And then make the mouth slightly different. Well, that's pretty good. It's not exactly the same as the other one, but it'll have to do for now. I'm not going to spend a lot of time sitting here drawing. Kind of get the idea. I bet that was really loud. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to blow in your ears. I have a headset on, you know, so I don't even think about it. Okay, so there's my little drawing. I'm not sure that it still looks a little weird, but I can't decide what it is that's weird about it. So since I can't decide, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. All right, let's see if anybody had any questions. Nope, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so the next step is to exclude the background. I obviously don't want it to be this busy, crazy busy. So I'm going to use this a little bit thicker paint. I could use the thinner paint, but I wanted it to be a little bit of a higher viscosity paint. So this is a bright aqua green. And I'm going to get a brush, make it a little bit wet. And then I'm just going to paint around my little giraffe and get rid of the background. If that makes sense, I hope it does. And then that makes the giraffe kind of stand out from page, and we're not going to say the P word. He does not do that. He just stands out from the background. Those of you who watch my channel know what I'm talking about. None of you say it. Don't do it. I don't know if this giraffe is a guy or a girl, to be honest. I'm not sure how you would even tell. So we'll just say it's a guy. I just know that giraffes are big. If you stand next to them, they're really tall. Of course, I've never seen them in the wild, only at a zoo, but I know they're tall. So hopefully it looks like a giraffe and not a deer or a dragon, because you don't get the benefit on this small of a card for the long neck. But Dawn, you know what the P word is. It's the most abused word anywhere. We're going to make it. Come on, you know it. So get this a little bit dry so that I can draw on the black lines without messing up my markers. That's right. Popcorn, that's right. You guys have been watching me too long, I can tell. All right. So now we're going to go in with the illustration pins. These are the Faber-Castell Pitt pins that I like. My favorite ones. I'm going to use that one and this one. And then this kind of helps bring out the lines a little bit more so that it really does look like an illustration, because it was kind of fading in there too much. I like my black lines. I really do. I'm going to make this bit a little bit more pointy, I think. Would make me happier if it was more pointy. More pointier. It's always good. Get some neck on there. Cheekbone. Get a few little hash marks. I'm not looking at the screen, guys, so if you're talking, I don't know. I'm trying to get this thing drawn here. I think I want a tinier one. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Here we go. They always have really long eyelashes. Have you ever noticed that? Gonna need some of those, I think. Still don't like this part of the jawline there. It's weird. I'm telling you, it's weird. But we're going to go with it. Okay. Next thing is to bring in a little bit of orange, just a dot of orange, and make some little telltale dots, you know, just to emphasize that this is indeed a giraffe and not some other creature. I think it helps quite a bit. I'm thinking maybe this one looks like a baby, kind of like a baby giraffe more than a full-grown one. Maybe. What do you guys think? Is it a baby giraffe? Yes, whimsical giraffe. That's right, Peggy. And then, of course, we're going to need some white Posca just to make some of this be a little bit more distinctive, like right there, and right there, a little highlight right there, maybe a little bit of a highlight there. Where would I be without my white Posca pens, you know? I'm not sure I would survive. Ugh, this pen does not want to work. Oh no. It's got itself into some acrylic and I've ruined it. Not good. Happens a lot. And just a little bit of erasing because I have a few little dirty lines over here. Not too bad. Okay, that's my draw big. Draw big. Oh, where's the camera? There we go. Cute. I think it's cute. Step 2 down. Let's move on to step number 3, but before we do that, I'm just going to do a little bit of a border around the edge of the card, and that would be with this tuxedo black memento pad. This is just the easiest way for me to make a border around things, which I enjoy. Sometimes I layer onto another background. That's something that I might often do, but for this, I'm just going to make a black border. See how much difference that makes? Just a little bit of ink, putting it around the edge, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it closes it in or something. I like it. So the next step is to add some lace. And I have these Petaloo crocheted laces, and I have just a few bits left off of another project. So what I did was I cut around a bit of the lace to make this shape, just, you know, cutting it out from the edges. And I think it looks like a little lace collar or bow tie or something. And so I'm just going to stick that on the neck. I could also put it on the head and make it maybe this one will have a bow in her hair. Oh, that's cute. That's cuter. I'll show you the other one in a second. The one that I made this morning. You'll see the difference. Because this one's neck is a little bit shorter because I made the drawing down further on the card. It's just a little bit shorter, and so I think this is better. And then, of course, because I'm obsessed with bling, we got to have a stick-on gem of some sort. It's just mandatory, I think. What color shall we go with? Maybe this yellow one. That's cute. A little bow in its hair. So that's add lace. And then I found this when I was moving my studio, this Brother P-Touch that I've apparently had for like 15 years because it's really old, but it makes cute little labels, and since there wasn't anything, it has different sizes and things. There wasn't anything in like any other thing that I had to put on here, so I decided to just make my own little saying. Because the giraffe was dressed up cute, it says, "Be your best you." Because I just thought it needed something. Something said, I thought. Let's see if I can get it unstuck from the backing. That's always the trick with these stickers. There we go. Come on, baby, you can do it. There, I did it, yay. And then I just kind of put it sideways because I didn't want it to go across the drawing and obscure anything, so I just kind of put it up the side of the card. Whoops, that's not straight. Wow. Be nice if it's straight. Can I get it back off, do you think? Sort of. That's better. Okay, so here's the ATC I just did, and here's the one I did this morning. So this one has a lot rounder face and looks more like a baby, and this one looks more like a grown-up, I think. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. Does anybody have any questions? I don't think so. Everyone seems to like it. All right. Well, I think that's it for my live show. Woo, it's all live and everything like the cool kids. And I'll put this up on my channel later, so if you want to rewatch it or anything. And that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.